Welcome students, I am Dr. Smita Sharma and we were discussing operational amplifier. In the previous two lectures, we basically the open loop op-amp configuration and we have discussed the assignment related to differential amplifier that was given to you. Now in open loop configuration, we had discussed that there are three types of open loop op-amp configuration: differential, inverting and non-inverting. And we had also seen that op-amp has very high gain. In ideal case, it has infinite gain. Because of this high gain, whatever voltage is applied to the input gets amplified to a very large extent, and output is because of that output is very large. The output signal is very large, but there are two barriers from above which amplifier cannot show us the amplification. These two barriers are the power supplies or the power given to the op-amp. This is plus VCC and minus VEE. These are also called plus Vsat, saturation voltage positive, and saturation voltage negative. Now first of all, we'll discuss the limitations of open loop op-amp configuration. So first limitation of open loop op-amp configuration, as I was saying, that the clipping of output waveform can occur when output voltage exceeds the saturation level. So op-amp will amplify in open loop configuration whenever input voltage is provided. It gets amplified by the help of op-amp to a very large extent, but if the output voltage amplifies in such a way that it exceeds the saturation level, it is greater than the saturation level of the battery, then it gets clipped off. So we'll not get amplified version, but we'll get the clipped waveform of the output voltage. This is first drawback. This feature makes it possible to amplify very low frequency signals. So low frequency signals we can amplify it because it remains inside the saturation levels. But intermediate to higher frequencies signals all get clipped off. Secondly, the open loop gain of op-amp is not a constant. This is very important thing, that the gain of an op-amp is not constant and it varies with changes in temperature. Now if variation occurs, then gain will vary, and gain will vary, then the input signal amplification will also vary. Variation in power supply, the gain changes because of changes in temperature and if there occurs any change in the power supply. And also the bandwidth of most of the open loop op-amps is negligibly small, that we have discussed above. It can only it is good for low frequency signal. It cannot be used for intermediate to high frequency signals, so we can say its bandwidth is very small. This makes the open loop configuration of op-amp unsuitable for AC application. So we have very small frequency signal range where we can apply this op-amp. We can use this op-amp for amplification. For the reasons stated, the open loop op-amp is generally not used in linear application. So in linear application we cannot restrict ourselves for low frequency signals only. So they are not, open loop op-amps are not used in linear application. However, open loop op-amp configuration, as we will see in later when we will discuss the applications of op-amp, it has use in non-linear application. Non-linear applications are used such as comparators, square wave generator, astable multivibrator. This we will discuss when we will discuss the applications of op-amp. Now if open loop op-amp configuration is not suitable, then we will switch over to closed loop op-amp configuration. Now before switching over to closed loop op-amp configuration, or what is the meaning of closed loop op-amp configuration, we will first discuss. Now what is feedback? Feedback in electronic means if a part of output signal is sent back to the input signal. So the principle of feedback is the input to the circuit is modified by feeding a signal proportional to the output value, or we can say it is sent back to the input. The feedback signal can be of two types. First is positive feedback. The positive feedback, by positive feedback we mean that if the output signal, part of the output signal that is fed back to the input is in phase with the input signal, that is input signal and the feedback signal both get adds up, then and the input signal increases, then we can say it is positive feedback. Second is negative feedback. If the output signal that is sent back to the input is out 180 out of phase with the input signal, then the input signal gets reduced due to the part of the output signal fed back. This is called negative feedback. Both positive feedback and negative feedback has its use, and they are used suitably in electronics. Both feedbacks are used. Now we'll discuss a feedback amplifier, because we are saying that open loop op-amp configuration is not suitable, so we are switching over to closed loop op-amp configuration. So first of all, we must know what is a feedback amplifier. A feedback amplifier, in case of op-amp, by general definition we can say an amplifier that uses feedback, or we can say an amplifier in which the output voltage, a part of output voltage is fed back to the input voltage, is called a feedback amplifier. So in case of op-amp, the feedback amplifier is an op-amp that uses feedback. It is also referred to as closed loop amplifier because there is a loop formation between output and input, since feedback forms a closed loop between input and output. Now feedback amplifier consists of two parts. This feedback amplifier we are discussing about using of an op-amp. First part is an op-amp and the second part is a feedback circuit. It is made either of passive components or active component, or combination of both. A closed amplifier can be represented by two blocks. First block may represent an op-amp and second block may represent a feedback circuit. If we want to make a block diagram, then there are two blocks in a feedback amplifier. So first of all, we'll discuss the feedback configuration. There are four ways to connect the two mentioned blocks. Now we have said that feedback amplifier has two blocks. One is op-amp or amplifier block and other is feedback block. Now in order to connect these two blocks, there are four different ways. What are these ways? We'll see. The connections are classified according to whether the voltage or current is fed back to the input in series or parallel. So how can the connection be classified as four ways? First of all, we have to see that a voltage is fed back to the from the output to the input, or a current is fed back from the output to the input. Accordingly, it can be a voltage feedback or current feedback. Now voltage feedback and current feedback, these are two types. Now these two types can further be subdivided into two types: series and parallel. Voltage series and voltage parallel, or in other words we say voltage shunt. Similarly, current series or current shunt. What does that means? That means that if the voltage which is fed back from output to the input is in series, then we say voltage series, and if it is in parallel, then we say voltage shunt. Similarly, we can say for current. So four feedback configuration are voltage series feedback, voltage shunt feedback, current series feedback, and current shunt feedback. Now we can illustrate these four configuration by a diagram. So illustration of four configuration will be somewhat like this. So first you see here, this is output and this is input. This is op-amp block and this is feedback block. So voltage series, voltage, if whenever voltage is fed back, we take parallel two wires which shows voltage is being fed back, and if the input is from here, see this line is going like this and this wire is going like this, this combination is called in series. Now voltage shunt, so voltage for voltage, what I have said, output between the two wires we take two wires, so this is voltage, and if we are taking this wire to this point and this wire to here, see the difference between the two, so this is voltage shunt feedback. Now when we use current series, this third part is current series, then instead of taking these two wires in this way, we'll take like series combination. This represent current feedback, and if we are taking in the same way here, then this will be current series feedback. If we are taking this as shown here, then this will be again current feedback, and if we are taking it connecting it in a parallel way, then we are saying it is current shunt feedback. So these are four illustrations of configuration. Now here we will mostly discuss voltage series and voltage shunt feedback because they are more important. So voltage series, first of all in detail we'll discuss voltage series and then we'll discuss voltage shunt. The voltage series and voltage shunt feedback configurations are important because they are most commonly used. What is the advantage of a feedback? Of all four types of feedbacks have certain advantage. Broadly we can say a series feedback tend to increase the input impedance. So whether it is voltage series or current series, it will provide high input impedance, while shunt feedback tend to decrease it. So whether it is voltage shunt feedback or current shunt feedback, it will provide low input impedance. Similarly, for a voltage feedback, if we are taking voltage feedback, then voltage feedback always tends to decrease the output impedance. Whether it is voltage series or voltage shunt, it will provide decreased output impedance, while current feedback will provide increased output impedance. So for a better working of an amplifier, generally we use high input impedance and low output impedance. So first of all we will use this combination only. What is this combination? This is voltage series feedback combination. Voltage series will provide high input impedance and low output impedance. So first of all we'll discuss this type of configuration in detail. So voltage series feedback amplifier. We'll quickly go through the diagram of voltage series feedback amplifier. So in this diagram, this is operational amplifier with its open loop gain mentioned as capital A. Two batteries are provided. the input signal is provided to the non-inverting end, and the feedback circuit, that constitute of R1 and RF, is fed back through the inverting end. If the feedback signal is provided to the inverting end, what does that mean? This means that we are giving a negative feedback. And why we are using a negative feedback? We are using a negative feedback so that the gain of the op-amp reduces to some part by some amount. If the gain of an op-amp reduces to some amount, what does that mean? This means that the gain is more stabilized, because for a negative feedback we know the gain is more stabilized, and also it is made suitable. This op-amp is made suitable for working in linear application by providing negative feedback. So in every linear application, what you will see, the feedback is always provided to the inverting end. And why it is provided to the inverting end? Because inverting end is that end where the input signal inverts the output signal. If it is fed back to the input, gets inverted, so it reduces the amount of input signal provided. So this is negative feedback provided to the feedback amplifier. Also we are providing here a parallel combination is being produced, so we are providing voltage, and here you can see it is the combination is in a series feedback amplifier. Figure shows diagram of voltage series feedback amplifier. Here op-amp is represented by a symbol which includes its large signal voltage gain A, and feedback circuit is composed of R1 and RF. This circuit is commonly called non-inverting amplifier with feedback because it uses feedback and the input signal is applied to the non-inverting input terminal of the op-amp. So we quickly define the main definition that we will be using further. The voltage gain of the op-amp with and without feedback and the gain of feedback circuit are defined as below. So first of all, open loop voltage gain, capital A. This is defined as output voltage upon difference of the input voltage, that is VO upon VID. Second is closed loop voltage gain. Closed loop voltage gain, or we can say a feedback gain, feedback amplifier gain. So it is represented by capital A F. So this is defined as VO upon VIN. Third is gain of feedback circuit, which is, or we can say this is feedback factor. This is depicted by capital B and it is defined as VF upon VO. VF is the output voltage that is fed back to the input, or we can say feedback voltage upon output voltage. So these are three basic definitions, and then we'll discuss one by one how they are being used. Now we have made a feedback amplifier having a negative feedback. So what happens when we are providing negative feedback to the operational amplifier? This we will see in all the parameters. What difference does it make in all the parameters? So what are main parameters of AC analysis? First of all, the parameter is the gain. Then it is input impedance, output impedance, bandwidth, frequency response, output offset voltage, etc. These are all the parameters that are affected when we are providing a feedback to the circuit. So what happens when we provide a negative feedback to a circuit? This we will discuss one by one. First of all, we'll discuss closed loop voltage gain. So again we'll make the diagram because we'll be calculating with the help of this diagram. So by definition, closed loop voltage gain is V naught upon VIN. So, but we know V naught is A V1 minus V2. By definition of an operational amplifier, we know output voltage is difference of the two input voltages multiplied by the open loop voltage gain. Now in figure, V1 is VIN, as we can see from the figure. This is V1 and this is connected to VIN. Second is V2. Now V2 is, what is V2? V2 is being given from here, or we can say V2 is equal to VF. Now what is VF? VF will be calculated with the help of R1 and RF and output voltage. Now we have discussed before this type of combination, and this can be calculated by using this circuit. Remove RL. We'll simply discuss V naught. V naught is this voltage divider rule we'll be using. Here V0 is this. R1 and RF are in series, and we have to calculate voltage across R1, that is VF. So what will be VF? VF will be simply R1 into V naught upon R1 plus RF. This I have directly calculated using voltage divider rule, as we have discussed it before also. Here it is mentioned, we generally take RF to be very much greater than R1. Now putting these values of V1 and V2 in above equation of V naught, we obtain a following equation. Again, when we rearrange them, we get AF. AF is V naught upon VIN, and by rearranging we finally get A R1 plus RF upon R1 plus RF plus A R1. Now A is very large, so we take A R1 very much greater than R1 plus RF. A R1 is very much greater as compared to R1 plus RF. So in place of R1 plus RF plus AR1, we can approximately write AR1. Now if we write AR1, how will AF change? In denominator there is only AR1, then A and A gets cancelled, R1 gets cancelled, and it becomes 1, and 1 plus simply RF upon R1. So finally we have AF is equals to V naught upon VIN, that is equal to 1 plus RF upon R1. So this is the closed loop voltage gain for an inverting amplifier, non-inverting amplifier with the negative feedback. So this we have calculated. Now what does this voltage gain shows? So what are the important facts? Equation of feedback amplifier is important because it shows that the gain of voltage series feedback amplifier is determined by two resistors, R1 and RF. We have seen the gain comes out to be 1 plus RF upon R1. So basically it gain depends only on two resistors. Basically we can say that ratio of R1 and RF is important, not the absolute values of the resistor. So because AF is equals to 1 plus RF upon R1, so ratio of the two resistor is more important than their exact values. Also, as defined earlier, the gain of feedback circuit is Vf upon V0. Now Vf upon V0 we have calculated, that comes out to be R1 plus RF. So if we compare AF with B, we get AF is equals to 1 by V. Or we can say the gain of feedback circuit is reciprocal to the closed loop gain. This is one of the main factor that we obtain. In other words, for a given value of R1 and RF, the values of AF and B is fixed. If we are fixing R1 and RF for an amplifier, then AF and B also get fixed. Now if we put if we modify the closed loop gain, then in terms of A and B, then we can write AF by simply solving them, dividing the whole equation from in numerator and denominator by R1 plus RF. We get A in the numerator, and in denominator we get 1 plus AB. So this is the relation that shows a relation between AF, A and B. What is that? AF is equals to A upon 1 plus AB. It can be used in various numericals. Now one thing here it should be remembered, as a general rule, all external components value should be less than 1 mega ohm, so that they do not adversely affect the internal circuitry of an op-amp. So this is one of the restriction imposed for an op-amp. Generally the external component value should not be more than 1 mega ohm. It should be less than 1 mega ohm.